What's up, everybody? It's Alex, the founder and CEO at Motoroso.com, your dedicated mods marketplace. And I just got back from 10 days in Baja with 4 of my buddies, and we made a 3-part video series about that trip just for fun to show you how it was. Check that out if you haven't seen it. But I rode the bike in stock trim down there. I didn't have any accessories on the bike whatsoever, not even panniers. I went with a duffel bag, and it worked out okay. But I kept thinking about all the ways that I wanted to mod this bike to make my Multistrada Enduro perfect for adventure rides like these. And I made a separate video talking about all the mods that I've done to get ready for my next adventure. So that's going to be my Multistrada Enduro adventure bike build. We'll put a link to that here as well. But in this video, we're going to talk specifically about the exhaust mod that I did because it sounds so good. And I can't believe how cheap it was. So you can look at this exhaust system and say, hey, look, it's too quiet for a Ducati, frankly. Ducatis have those amazing twin sounds, the desmodromic valves, not in the new V4, that's gone now, but these things sound fantastic. But it's so muted from the factory because it has this giant tank of a catalytic converter muffler thing that they tuck up under the bike that weighs almost 20 pounds. And so for a very, very low-hanging fruit modification on this bike is just replacing the mid-pipe. Instead of doing the $2,000 full titanium Termione exhaust system, which is just a lot of money, I did this mid-pipe replacement. And literally, I didn't even go with one of the name brands. I took a shot on picking up an eBay special pipe, which I know can sometimes be a risk, but for under $200, I replaced the mid-pipe on this bike, and it sounds fantastic. It's made from 409 stainless steel, and it did something really convenient. They were so bad at designing and making it that it actually moved the exhaust system 4 inches away from my pannier bags, and I had to make this heat shield for the pannier bags because it was too hot for the stock exhaust system. But now it's further away and it's working just great. And that left tons of money left over so that I could put it into 2 other very important modifications that you want to do alongside an exhaust system mod. And that is a Power Commander 5, which we sell on Motoroso.com. We'll put a link to that. It's $370, and that's going to allow you to put a map on the bike that tunes it for that aftermarket high-flowing exhaust system to make sure you get the most gains and everything's running clean and you're not running too lean or too rich or any of that. Secondarily, because the stock exhaust system has a little valve in it, there is a servo system in the bike, and you need to override that servo with a Servo Buddy. And that's a $70 part that you can get from Woodcraft. We don't sell that, but we will put a link to that in the description. I'm so happy with it. It sounds fantastic, and it costs nothing. Check out the sound clips, and then we'll show you how we did the install. Now let's show you how to install a Multistrada mid-pipe. Using 5 and 6mm Allens, remove your skid plate. Remove the exhaust heat shield using 5mm Allens. Remove the exhaust hangers also with 5mm Allens. Disconnect the OEM exhaust spring. Loosen the band clamp with a 6mm Allen and remove the muffler. With a 12mm socket and an extension, loosen the exhaust band clamp inside the swing arm. Using a 10mm socket, remove the nuts on the front cylinder header pipe flange. Disconnect and remove the exhaust valve servo cable. Get that big old OEM mid-pipe out of there. Determine the correct orientation and lightly secure the mid-pipe at the rear cylinder header pipe. Reinstall exhaust hangers where necessary. Reinstall the front cylinder header pipe to the mid-pipe. Carefully fasten the header flange nuts, making sure not to over-torque. Reuse the OEM exhaust retention spring. Now that everything's in place, fully tighten down the band clamp inside the swing arm. Reinstall your OEM muffler. Now you may need to use a flathead screwdriver to bend out the inside tabs to ease the installation over the new mid-pipe. Tuck the exhaust servo cable out of the way and use zip ties to fasten it and keep it away from the heat. We made a small bracket to make up for the new position of the muffler. Now let's install that servo buddy so we don't get a check engine light. First, locate the exhaust servo wiring harness on the right side under the seat as seen here. Disconnect this wiring harness. Simply plug in the servo buddy and tuck it out of the way. All right, when you install a mid-pipe like this, next up you want to get yourself a Power Commander 5 to make sure that everything is running clean, you're getting the most gains, and you're not running rich or lean or anything like that. We made an installation guide video, you can check that out right here, and of course you can buy that on Motoroso.com. We'll put a link to that in the description. Thanks for watching.